Did you know sports is 10% physical and 90% mental? Every sports person needs to apply some degree of physical strength in their game, from athletes to swimmers, cyclists to basketball players, etc. All have to put in the extra hard work. But the most underlying factor is mental wellness. So what happens when a global pandemic affects one of the most prestigious sporting events, the Olympics? Following the postponement of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, sportsmen and women across the globe were affected in one way or the other. We highlight some of their reactions to the breaking news. So, bearing the weight of such news, how did they get back on their feet? And did the news affect their training and their focus? I spoke to a sports therapist to get clarity on this matter. Thank you so much, Sean, for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
To what extent do you feel Olympians have been affected mentally by the postponement of the Olympics?
So what we found in our athletes, and completely understandably so, is we found a significant emotional impact and an emotional roller coaster that they've gone through since the news has come out and since the news has broke. And understandably so. I think most of these athletes work 4 years and longer to reach their dreams and reach this goal of going to the Olympics, and it's in this time has been taken away from them. And if you look at Kubler-Ross's model from a psychological perspective, athletes generally go through a modified version of shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and eventually acceptance. And it's my job during this time, my role, to get them to that stage of acceptance. However, that doesn't take the emotional impact away. So understandably so, it's been a difficult time, a bit of a roller coaster, but a significant negative emotional impact on them.
Now, with all the uncertainty, do you feel Olympians can still be anxious about the Games in 2021, given that no vaccine, no cure has been found for COVID-19?
I think it goes without saying that any athlete is going to experience some form of anxiety during this time. If you compare it to, the Rio 2016 with the Zika virus, a lot of the athletes went through the same thing. It was that fear and that anxiousness of contracting the disease. At that time it was through mosquitoes, etc. But you can understandably the anxiety will be present. A large part of their focus for the time being is going to be to refocus on their goals and make the decision of whether they want to go to the Olympics or not. But it's not a case of whether there will be anxiety or if there will be anxiety. It's when anxiety comes and the impact that it's going to have on them.
What kind of support do you feel should be accorded to athletes during this tough time?
As an Olympic committee, I truly believe we need to employ professionals to go reach out and chat to these athletes during this time. So from my perspective, get them the support that they need during this time. Start with a psychologist or professional, get a support group, and then eventually get in touch with the coaches. And that's going to be from a professional Olympic committee perspective. I think all the Olympic committees around the world and countries need to put that in place.
All right, thank you so much, Sean, for your time and expertise. Would have loved to talk long, but this is it for now. We appreciate it.